Who doesn't know who Samir is? Who doesn't know? Who has no? Oh my gosh, that is some deep stuff, right?
I think in today's day and age, there's so much of pressure to be someone, to look like someone, to behave like someone. This book, especially for those people who don't kind of feel comfortable being out there and saying, hey, look at me, I'm this, I'm that. To me, it's a very, very, very important book. It talks about my relationship with God. I mean, I think on my birthday, all I wrote was happy birthday because, that's what I felt, really. As a child, I always thought moon was God. So whenever I was feeling lonely or low, I would write almost addressing the moon and saying, hey, how come I didn't get this? And how come my dad is saying this? And how come my mom is saying this?
Because he said that, okay, I wear my introvertism as a badge. This has to go on a shirt. I was really looking forward to kind of meeting you and talking to you in person because it has another effect, of course. For those of you who live under a rock and don't know who Samir is, who doesn't know who Samir is? Who doesn't know? Who has no? Oh my gosh, that is some deep stuff, right? Okay. Okay, so everybody must have watched Made in Heaven. And if you haven't watched Made in Heaven, and so many others. The latest is Made in Heaven. And of course, that iconic scene from Bollywood Wives, where you kind of launched the book amongst your peers, your friends, sorry. And it was such a wonderful scene. Okay, first of all, Samir, welcome to Bengaluru. I hope your stay here is wonderful. And my first question straight off is books or movies?
Oh, hi. Firstly, hello everyone. Hi, Rohan. Thanks for having me here.
Hi to you.
Okay, firstly, hi. Hello everyone. Hi.
Hi guys.
Come on, hi. Thank you for being here and not watching the match.
Oh my God, what's this for?
The match is 54-1, Australia, 12 overs. So, what would you guys, okay, I've written a book, all right? So, for those of you who don't know who I am, should I give a brief introduction? Maybe, You guys know, okay? I was.
Want to know about the book.
You want to know about the book or about me? About Fabulous Wives, you said? Book. Huh?
Fabulous husband.
Husband.
They want to know about the fabulous husband. Okay, first of all, let's
thing.
talk about that.
All right. I'm here to entertain, so we will talk about the book. The Fabulous Husband, I think Dharma came up with the idea of the show called Bollywood Wives. My wife, Neelam, she had not been in front of the camera for 20 years and whatever, and she said, discuss whether if she should do it. And look, if you want to do it, all for it, go for it. And in my mind, I was thinking nobody's going to watch it. It's like, because I'm not the one who kind of watches this kind of stuff. But it became so popular. Earlier when we used to go out, they would ask her to take my picture and she would get very offended. Now we go out, I am Neelam's husband. So, yeah, so that's what Bollywood Wives is. Apparently it was a big hit and we're shooting for season 3 coming month. And yeah, I mean, they are the fabulous wives. We are just husbands. Wife is always fabulous. So yeah, that's about it. Any question you have about it, feel free. It's
Yeah,
okay.
sure. We'll open it up for the audience, of course, and you guys can pounce on Samir a little bit
just
later.
let's make it interactive. Whatever question you have about
ask?
anything.
Sure. So
We
I'll
will-
tell you about the book, okay? So this book is about Samir's, journey with introvertism, of course. And those of you who are introverts or at the borderline of introvert or extrovertism, see, this world is made up of the extroverts are dominating it, right? So I was so happy when I got to know that he has written this book, being a celebrity and kind of, opening up like this. Oh my God, you're so cute.
She is. I'm taking her home.
Yeah. So when he wrote this book, I was so happy because introverts need to really stand up for the community, and you did it so so nicely. And of course, tell us a bit about the parts where so the narrative is like a diary, okay, and that makes it very interesting because otherwise I feel that it could have gotten a bit tardy to read the book. So tell us a bit about the format first, and of course you break into some poetry as well, which so that was quite refreshing. So tell us about that.
Uh, Firstly, I think the whole idea behind the book and why I'm passionate about it, I think in today's day and age, there's so much of pressure to be someone, to look like someone, to behave like someone. It's just, especially in the world of social media, if you are not it, then you're a loser or you're nobody. And everyone doesn't really feel comfortable about that, right? And this book, especially for those people who don't kind of feel comfortable being out there and saying, hey, look at me, I'm this, I'm that. So I'm a die-hard introvert. My profession is acting and I love that. But I thought there is a voice for people, especially now, who kind of feel a misfit wherever they go and they have to make an effort just to fit in. And that annoys me because I think everyone is unique, everyone is different, and you can't have one thing that meets all. So that was the purpose behind the book, and it actually has pages of my diary, which I wrote 10 years back, 15 years back, and just recording how I was feeling. And in that you have poetry and prose and also recalling my childhood, growing up in Delhi and everything. So I think to me, it's a very, very, very important book. It talks about my relationship with God. It's in the format of a diary, so you can pick up any page and you'll see the date and how I was feeling that day. I mean, I think on my birthday, all I wrote was happy birthday because, that's what I felt really. So, yeah, it's just literally, and also it's very therapeutic. A lot of people who believe in journaling, it's a good way of journaling. It's a good way of expressing yourself, catharsis, as opposed to going to a counselor or a psychiatrist or whatever, which I say is the thumbs up. If you have issues, you should talk. But this was my way of bringing out in the open that let's talk about it. And because, yeah, we live in, like Rohan very nicely said, we live in an extroverted world. The one who is loudest is heard. The one who screams loudest is heard. One who creates noise is noticed. And the one who doesn't and who just might be a sensitive person, yeah, you'll be overlooked. No one's going to look at you, especially today's social media. So having been there, I just got fed up. And yeah, it annoys me because I come from an industry where it's important to be seen and blah, blah, blah. I don't like that because somewhere along the way, it tells people who are not like that you're less. For those who can do it and enjoy it, fantastic. But to me, it's the voice of those who don't fit in, don't really enjoy it. And people look at them very strange, like, oh, what happened? What do you mean? You're going to just sit and read? You're not going to go out? You're not going to party? I'm like, no, I don't. So,
Readers in the house, just, yeah, the book nerds in the house especially, hands up please. Can I see your hands? I can't see your hands, come on. Okay. So,
nobody reads nowadays. They're going to YouTube and...
you can get the
Can you
mic.
give me the mic? Yeah.
When you talk about your relationship with God, a lot of us believe differently. Do you talk about it in a singular sense or do you refer to any particular deity?
No. My connection with God is I'm very cool with Him. If it's Him, to me, God, Him, He, it, whatever the divine force or that energy, uniform, the universe, whatever name you want to call it. We all kind of believe in something, unless you're an atheist. Then I can't really argue on that.
Even if you're an atheist, you believe in something that...
I don't know about atheism. Do they really believe in some divine thing? They just say, they don't consider that at all. I don't think they will be inclined towards that. To me, it's, as a child, I always thought moon was God. So whenever I was feeling lonely or low, I would write almost addressing the moon and saying, hey, how come I didn't get this? And how come my dad is saying this? And how come my mom is saying this? So to me, my relationship has been very abstract, which is not connected with any kind of religion. And yeah, it is that higher self, whatever word you want to give it. I mean, I don't want to sound too spiritual and this and that. No, it's just, yeah, I mean, honestly, someone asked me, why do you believe in God or whatever? I said, it helps me sleep peacefully. And when I'm shit scared,
So I
I
heard
say, oh, God's going
another-
to take care.
I heard another thing that God is even good orderly directions. You don't have to, it's whatever puts you in order.
See, to me, I'm as far as God is concerned, I'm open to anyone what you believe in. My philosophy in life is live and let live. What works for you, go for it, as long as it makes you happy, which is an important part of the book, which is an important part of the message I try to say is that the most important thing in life is not to be successful, but to be happy. Because success is meaningless if it's not happiness. So whatever makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting somebody else, is good. I mean, who are we to judge? If you're happy, you're happy. So, but unfortunately, the society says that you have to behave a certain way. You don't have a fancy car, a vacation house, have so many followers, have this kind of body, figure, six-pack, and that's cool. But if you're unhappy inside, that's all meaningless.
Hello, hello. Am I audible? Yeah, cool. So, yeah, I mean, that's so true. And this book, guys, I mean, coming from a contemporary an actor, you are still so relevant, and coming from you, it's a huge risk as well. If you look at it, if people read about your personal life and and then they see you on screen, all of a sudden you are like happy and, mostly, I mean, in most of the roles, but in Bollywood Vibes, we got to see that part of you which I saw in this book. It's a journal basically, and that particular scene which I go back to all the time, where you introduce the book to your friends. Take us through it, because it was very organic. It seemed very organic. Was it that organic, first of all? And what were the kind of repercussions of that scene? Yeah.
Look, firstly, a little about myself. Even though I'm an actor, I kind of go into that. But I don't like too much focus. Okay? I mean, I'm a little shy about these things. But in the show, I feel very passionately about the book. I hate having to sell. I find that the most disturbing thing. I mean, I like what I do it. But if you ask me to sell that, I can't. I mean,
How many times have you showed up for your book?
exactly. So this book is that special to me that I would go the extra mile
Yes.
and promote the book, because I think there is substance in that. It's not about me. When you create something, that thing takes its own life. I'd do anything for that. But if I was to promote myself, no, that's not. So I think in that show, I had an opportunity and I said, okay, let me share it with them. And through that, share it with the millions of people. So yeah, I'm passionate about that. Not just, I mean, yeah, that's.
Who has watched that scene which I'm talking about from Bollywood Vibes? The second season. Has anybody watched the second season? You have watched the second season? You don't remember the scene? Where the book is introduced with Samir. Yeah, you remember, right? Okay. Guys,
Hey, how many of you, let me just check. How many of you guys are on Instagram? Oh, okay. Okay. How many of you at least say five times? 5 times check your Instagram a day. At least 5 times, all right? More? Okay, and how many of you actually check how many followers your friends have? Okay. And after posting, sit and wait what they're saying, how many likes you're getting. You guys are in trouble. Big trouble. So you see, this is what life is coming to, because we need some kind of validation that I've said something, what are people saying? this is what is being thrown at you. There was time when there was no Instagram. You just felt good for whatever you did. Now it has become a competition. It's like who's got more followers. You're successful depending on how many followers you have. I mean, I'll give you an example.
You hate social media, right?
Absolutely. I think no, I don't like it. I think it's addictive, number one. Number two, it is leads to your most basal personality or issues. So I'm not crazy about it, but I'm part of it because of my job. Now, the interesting thing is now what's happened in today's day and age in social media, how many followers you have, what you say is become a benchmark. Whereas we know everybody's photoshopped. How many of you have put a picture and not photoshopped it? You have not. You never Photoshop your pictures, or sometimes. Okay, you pick your best pictures, right? You put a picture that's your best. Yeah, right? We will not put a sad one. You'll be desperate. So, the funniest thing is, people heard of Pamela Anderson? I mean, for youngsters. Yeah, we have. No, I'm just curious. We guys who grew up in the 90s and stuff, our God in terms of big screen was Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt. Pamela Anderson has more followers than Tom Cruise or the Kardashians. I don't know what they do. They have about 100 million followers or something. What do they do? Right? So, anyway, I've kind of digressed from what I was saying. The importance of being true to... I recognize you. Hi, Vian, how are you? You got your guitar? I'm going to make you sing today. The dear friend of mine, and she's a brilliant singer as well. So yeah, the key is that the society, when you're young, your parents tell you what you should be like. Come first in class, then you follow that. Now the social media is telling you what you should look like, what you should behave. So it's tricky. I think that there has to be a voice to counter that, to say, okay, let's draw a balance here. Let's not get carried away. So
I want to read from your book because
Please.
a very interesting page, page 124, and you can buy the book here at Bookchore. It's available here, and it says 21st August. This is which year, Samir?
yeah, I'm not telling the year.
Okay. Success, money, fame. In the end, the only thing that comes to your rescue is God and your faith in Him. Yes, there is more to life, but sometimes we get stuck in endless loops and are unable to see beyond ourselves. We run driven by one fear or another in our endless attempt to fill our incompleteness. So it goes like this. For someone who is always, surrounded by people, be it for the job, and then kind of write this kind of, confession. I know the process was quite cathartic for you, but take us through, what was the process like? Because this was not commissioned, right? Nobody asked you to write this. So tell us a bit about that, and how did the family react to it? That as well.
Believe it or not, I don't think my family members have read it. They might have read one page saying, uh-oh, he's going to tell everything, so...
Let me tell this story. We met his wife in Dehradun, and we asked her, have you read the book? And she was like, what should I say? And we figured out she hasn't read it yet. And we made sure that we suggested that you should.
Yeah, so look, I'm in a position to say what I've said, and I feel the importance of it because I grew up in Delhi, middle-class family. The only thing we were taught was to work hard, come first in class. That was the be-all, end-all, come first in class, get an admission into a good college, get a job, find a nice girl, settle down, have kids, and blah, 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 blah. So goes on. I did my undergrad from University of California. I specialized in finance. I worked on the Wall Street. I had a house, an apartment, which was overlooking the Statue of Liberty. And I looked at myself and I'm like, this is as good as it gets, really. I mean, you have a house, Yeah, I mean, in stature, you're working on the Wall Street, you're in investment banking, and everyone around you looks at you like, wow, what a success story. And I was miserable. And I said, something is missing. I mean, what is it? I mean, I've got it all. I mean, what do I do? And this is just starting out. I was just 24, 25. Life was ahead of me. And I'm like, okay, if this is not making me happy, there's something wrong. I need to figure out, what do I want in life? Then my passion for acting has been since I was 8 years old. I said, look, what I truly enjoy is acting. I love that. It's something that's amazing for me. So I quit my job on the Wall Street and I went to Bombay to be a Bollywood film star. If I knew what I know now, I probably wouldn't have come back. So anyway, so I've been...
You would keep the apartment? Perhaps?
I'd probably do something else, but not Bollywood. I'm sorry.
Maybe plays in New York or something like that. Huh?
Whatever, just something...
I'm very fascinated because, when a contemporary, professional like you is talking about the industry and whatever is happening in that scenario and writing a book, expressing yourselves, like, we can literally see into you through this book. And I would encourage everyone to read this book because it is so honest, so damn honest. It's so hard to write what you're feeling and do it so organically. So this is not a pitch for you to buy the book, but it's just an experience that I've felt as a reader. So tell me something when you were writing the book, and I know I have asked you this question previously, but the people here would love to know that what were the sine waves, the ups and lows while writing the book? It must be a whirlwind, right?
Okay, I'll just finish my thought. I'll come back to that. So, in my journey, I had seen the glamour of Wall Street and everything. I've came to India. I saw the glamour of Bollywood and signing autographs or selfies or whatever, and I'm nothing against it. I love it. I think people love you, and I'm forever indebted to that. I think it's God's blessing that people do that. But still, something is missing. So I'm saying it's not where the money is at. If you have all the money and you're unhappy, the money's no good. And if that was the case, then you will never find any millionaire or a billionaire having any mental problems or seeing a shrink. And I, for a fact, can say 99% of the people who have millions and billions and have fancy houses, they're still struggling in life. So you definitely know that is not the way. It might be, that's a possibility, that 1%, but that is not for sure. But this is the thing, a dream that was sold to you as a child. Be successful, be first, happiness will come. I experienced firsthand, it doesn't. It might come for some people, but there is no guarantee. So if you're just doing that, one day you're going to be 50 years old and saying, okay, I have all these fancy things, what now? As far as fame is concerned, you could be, you could be Shah Rukh Khan or whoever, the biggest actor, and if you're not sleeping peacefully at night, does it really matter that millions know who you are? It doesn't. You got to live with yourself. You have to, and you're a human being.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 sec. So, in terms of fame and stuff, which looks fantastic on social media, and like, yeah, wow. But when you sleep alone, and you have your own problems, and everybody has problems as a human being, that's not going to take away anything. So it's not really, this is what I learned, it's not really the money, really. It might be, no guarantees. You have people who have been so successful or popular. Lovely one. This is my favorite one. Who do you think is one of the most popular pop stars we've ever had in history? Michael Jackson, right? Everybody agrees on that? Maybe Elvis? He's a legend. We all say, right? Not one of you would want to trade places with him. Would you want that life?
Nirvana.
So much, you cannot have more fame.
Nirvana.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, the rock band.
Rock band.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I thought he was. Yeah, he died at 27. Kurt Cobain.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he did.
Mozart, again, died an alcoholic. We still
Yeah.
remember him. So you are told these fancy stories of what things that are desirable, but they don't tell you what goes behind it. All right? So it's the society that's creating this consumerism. You know, you got to have this car. Your life problems are going to be solved. They're not. I'm an example of that. I know it. So iPhone, yeah. I mean, honestly, I want to go back to phone which you had buttons and no screen.
The dumb phone, right?
Yeah, the not so smart phone, which the not so smart phone that made me smart, and the smartphone that makes me dumb.
Cool, cool.
That sounds good.
Samir, should we go to the readers because it's really about them? And
Anything.
if you want to ask any questions, you're
Okay,
most
just
welcome.
one last plug. That is where I discovered God.
Ticketing people, but mostly it's pointless.
That's where I discovered God, because that, in my way, was getting in touch with who I am, not what I've been told by my parents that this is the way I should be, not by the society who says you should be this. Through God, I discovered me. I'm not here a preacher. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in that any force that gets you in touch with whoever you are. Another tricky one. I'll tell you one. Everybody says slow and steady wins the race. You don't say that? Okay. By and large, we kind of agree. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Now, we say that in the context of the turtle and the hare. Now, if the hare was slow and steady, would he survive one day in the jungle? God gave him speed. He's got to use the speed. God gave turtle that hard shell, so he has to be there. So be true to who you are, because that's what God gave you, or that's what you were born with. A fish must swim and a bird must fly. Don't look at the bird and say, hey, I want to fly. Maybe you were not meant for that. So anyway, enough of Gyan.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, Samir doesn't do too many book sessions at all. Once in a while, I remember, I think so, Neha, my co-founder, asked him, like, you need to come to Delhi or something. And he was like, please don't make me do this. So it is very special for Bengaluru and Blend Bazaar that you have shown up. Thank you so much. And of course, any questions, guys, we are going to have a little like book signing session after this. But if you have any questions, go for it. Otherwise, we'll just, meet the readers in person.
Yeah,
just
whatever. If you guys
casually.
have any questions, just go for it.
Any questions,
Just
anything
relax.
about him?
It's gonna
Baki,
You want to know
it's
about
his
Amitabh
choice.
Bachchan? I'll tell you.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
Any questions? If not, we'll conclude the session and then just, mingle. Okay? There's one? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so my question is that your book is basically your diary, right? How did it feel to, let go of your vulnerability when publishing your innermost thoughts?
You get tired. You get tired of being who you're not, right? Because you want to fit in, right? And there comes a time in your life you say, I really don't get a damn, right? When you're secure enough, I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know what I do and why I do it. You want to judge me? Fine. So I stopped hiding myself and trying to be an extrovert. I said, I'm an introvert. I've been to counselors. I've been in counseling. I've seen psychologists, psychiatrists. In India, that's a taboo. In India, it's okay to have 2 drinks every night or go weekend, get smashed out of your brains. That's normal. But if you go see a counselor, they'll say, oh my God, what's wrong with you? Yes. So my answer to that is simple. I mean, I wear my my introversion as a badge. If I go to see a psychologist and somebody else says something, because I have enough balls to say that and do it because I'm willing to face my own demons. Those people who don't have enough courage, so I wear it like that. So I'm not going to hide away from that. So the moment when you take pride on being who you are, people kind of back off because they're not used to that. They're used to kind of, you're hiding here and you're saying, look, man, I don't fit in your party. You guys talk things I don't understand. I don't care much for it. Right? So that was a good way of like, it's almost coming out in the open. It's like, people might be of, alternate sexuality. To me, it was coming out in the closet saying, hey man, I'm an introvert.
Cheers to coming out as an introvert. I think claps to that because it takes a lot, it takes a lot. And Blend Bazaar team, we have to put that on a shirt because he said that, okay, I wear my introvertism as a badge. This has to go on a shirt, right? It is so relevant.